How's it going, everyone? I am Jeremy Alexander, and welcome to our very first Jerementor Game Jam. The day is finally here, and I'm so excited that it is because I cannot wait to see what you come up with once these 48 hours are over. So I thought I'd do a few things just a few hours early just to kind of go over the rules, the criteria, and really what you get if you win the game jam. Just kind of make sure that everything is making sense and that we're on the same page, and also that I released the theme a few hours early for a few reasons. The first reason is I'm not entirely sure how itch.io handles the theme. There wasn't really an option for me to input a theme, so I wanted to make sure that I put it on the front page so you could really see it. The second reason is I really wanted to make sure that you since this is our first game jam, you really had time to think about the theme and come up with an idea. I can give you a few off the bat. Are you going to break out of jail? Are you breaking someone out of jail? Are enemies breaking out of jail and you have to stop them? The list goes on, and I'm really excited to see what you come up with. So now that the theme is released, I just want to make sure we are on the same page with the rules and the criteria for the jam. The rules are pretty simple. You can use any piece of software or native language that you would like, that you're comfortable with using, whether it's Java, C#, C++, Game Maker Studio, Unity, Unreal, Love2D, anything that you are comfortable with making a game and finishing the game, please use it, because I'd rather you finish the game in something that you're comfortable with than start something completely new just for the sake of the game jam. The second rule is your game should be 2D. Now, I don't think we've ever done 3D on this channel. I've done 3D in the past. It's not something that I'm interested in, so your game must be 2D. The third thing is you must submit your source code, and I think that this is really, really important for a game jam. I know that when I first started doing game jams and I played a game that I really, really liked, I wished that they posted the source so I could see how they did it. It's really important to me that you do this, so make sure you upload your source to either Dropbox or Drive and post the link. There will be a place to upload the link when you submit your game. So what is the criteria for the jam other than making your game under the jailbreak theme? Here's what I'm looking for in order of most important to least important. I'm looking for, actually that's a lie because SFX is kind of pretty important. So let me just kind of clarify. Feedback is the most important thing I'm looking for in this game jam, and I really want you to go overkill on this. I tried to explain feedback in my enemy AI feedback video, and what it really means to me is exterior motion, any exterior repercussion that an action has. So if you click to shoot a gun and then the bullet bounces off a wall, what happens? Does the bullet disperse into more bullets? Does a particle drop out of the wall? Does the wall crumble? Does the screen flash? Does the screen shake? All of these things are exterior motions that I think is missing in a lot of games and a lot of indie games that really need to be added. So that's what I'm looking for you to go overkill on the most. I really want that feedback because, as in my example from my enemy AI, the AI itself is very, very, very simple. But what makes it really fun to play is the feedback of the enemy AI spawning in a corpse, having the corpse spawn particles, having the corpse move around a little bit, having the corpse flash white, having the corpse have a drop rate to actually drop an item every, every 50 times or something like that. Those kind of things are what makes your game fun to the user. It's not as much about how well you code your game, so don't feel so self-conscious when you're posting your source code and thinking your code's not great. I really don't care how well you code your game. I just want you to make your game and focus on the feedback of your game. So that's the most important thing to me, and that kind of falls under gameplay. I want you to have some kind of, we already have our theme, right? Our theme is jailbreak, so our gameplay just really means fit the theme. If your game does not fit the jailbreak theme, it won't count, simply put. So the art, I want you to make it easy on the eyes. We've talked about this in all of my tutorials, that art is pretty important to making your game, really commercial ready. But in this game jam, it's not as important. I am very aware that some of you, like myself, are not amazing artists. I've put in a resource list to grab artwork from, and I'll go over that shortly. But do your best that you can with this. It's really about the feedback and the gameplay, so I won't worry about that as much. Same thing with the music. I'm not a composer, so I wouldn't expect you to be one either. There's a bunch of free music out there, but if not, music is not the most important thing. What is important to me is the SFX, because it does kind of fall under the feedback thing where, you could have 5 different sounds for one action. So that's kind of important. That goes under the feedback. So definitely have sound effects in your game. Okay, now that we've gone over all the criteria and the rules and the theme, what do you get if you win? You get access to all of my courses. Whether you have access to them already, you'll get other coupon code, a new coupon code to all of my 9 courses on Udemy. So I'm really excited for that. I think there's a lot of value there. And if you win, I will message you and you will get access to that. Okay, so now what I want you to do, if you haven't already, you must join the jam right here on itch.io. I'm not familiar with itch.io's system and if this button is going to go away when the game jam starts. If in case that does happen, just send me an email. I'll leave a link in the description. Send me an email and I'll make sure that your game still counts for the game jam. So make sure that even if you can't join on itch.io, you're still making a game within 48 hours. Any game that is emailed to me from now until Sunday, I will count as part of the game jam. Okay, now that we have those things taken care of, let's go to the community part. I'd like you to post your work in progress. It's an optional thing that you can do. I've given you an example post to go off of. So while you're making your game, post some screenshots, post a description of what you're doing, and be active on this community. I think it's really great that they give us a little bit of a forum to make some kind of environment for you guys to really just look at other people's games and what they're doing. The second thing is make sure that you download the Game Jam logo. You can download it right here. Just click on that and make sure you put it in your game. I'm not going to actually make that a requirement, but I really think it's important that you do that. And if you do, link it back to my YouTube channel. That would be great. That's also completely optional, but make sure you download the Game Jam logo to really just put it in as this is for the Jerementor Game Jam. Okay, finally, in case you're lost, in case you've never done a game jam before, I've given you a bunch of resources that I've used, some of which I haven't, that I think are extremely beneficial. So here's some artwork in case you can't draw. Here's some art programs, and in addition to the tile map editor that I use, here's some ways you can make SFX. Here's some ways you can make music and download music royalty free. Here's a list of all software that I've used and some that I haven't used, but some that I think are good. All of these optional softwares and languages that you could use, and some miscellaneous things like GIFCam and defont.com and Trello. Hopefully these are enough resources for you to make your game. I've let this topic be unlocked, so if you have any other resources that you don't see on this list that you've used and liked, please post on that just so you can kind of give everyone a chance to see what you're using and what might help them out. Okay, that's enough talking for right now. The game jam starts in 3 hours and 20 something minutes as this video is being recorded. I'm not sure. By the time you watch this, it'll probably be about 3 hours until the game jam starts. So I'm really, really excited to see what you come up with. Do your best. I know for some of you, this is your first game jam. Just participating in the game jam is better than not participating at all. So if you were thinking about it but not sure, do participate. No matter what your game looks like, no matter how it plays, this criteria is subjective to me, and it's really just all about making a game and finishing a game. That's what's the most important. So whether you've never made a game before, now is the time. There's no time like now to really get started making a game. So we have our theme, we have our rules, we have our criteria. I'm really excited to see what you make, and I'll be making a video and I'll be posting on Twitter soon all of the games that come in, all the screenshots that come in as well. So make sure that you're active so I can kind of help you out, promote your game, and talk about your game. And if your game is really fun, I'll definitely be playing it on my channel. So make sure that you keep all these things in mind. I'm really excited to see what you make. So go get started, go think about your idea, and make sure you join the jam if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video.